Sudden cardiac death is dramatic and/or spontaneous death that is usually caused by a heart condition and may have been brought on by exercise. It is usually associated with cardiomyopathy disease, which affects 5,000 people in this country each year. With increased awareness in the media, CRY, which stands for Cardiac Risk in the Young, was set up in 2002. The foundation set itself three main tasks: to spread awareness of sudden cardiac death among the public and the medical profession, to support families affected by the condition, and to set up a national screening centre for families who are at risk.
Pádraig was only 41 when he died. He never complained. He showed no sign of any of the symptoms that's associated with cardiomyopathy, or, he worked very hard. He was fit. The only symptom he complained of was the night prior to his 20 minutes before he died. He said he had a pain in his arm. He had already brought the baby down to bed he was in the cot beside us, and Pádraig then just did one last breath and he was gone. Our whole world changed from being a happy family, and then all of a sudden Pádraig was gone. No sickness, no nothing, he was just vanished. But it's so important now for my kids to have the screening. The first time I went up and I actually said to her, I have, what do I pay or what? And she said, it's free. The facility is brilliant. And for a family to know that there is something there and that there's somebody there that you can talk to that has gone through what you're going through. I felt it was a great relief for me to actually see the kids being checked and to know that their hearts are perfect.
We get referrals from GPs generally or other consultants of either families where somebody has died suddenly of probable cardiac disease, or young people predominantly who have symptoms that are suggestive of potentially conditions that can lead to sudden cardiac death. Most of the causes of sudden cardiac death are detectable on evaluation beforehand. So the first thing we do usually with the patient is we do an ECG, which is a recording of the electrical activity in their heart. It's very simply done and tells you a lot of the information and picks up most of the conditions, and that takes about 5 minutes to record. What we also do then is an exercise test, so running on a treadmill hooked up to the ECG machine to record how the heart behaves under stress. Then we will take the patient in and do an echo test, which is cardiac ultrasound, basically looking at the structure of the heart, looking for heart muscle conditions, looking for abnormal thickening of the heart muscle, looking for poor pump function, or looking for leaky valves, narrowed valves, or holes in the heart. And all of those conditions can give rise to sudden cardiac death. Not all of them are inherited, but the vast majority of them are. Waiting lists, if a patient comes to an ordinary clinic for an echo test, in some hospitals can be up to 2 years for a non-emergency case, and we feel that that's not acceptable, and that's why generally we bring the patient and do all the investigations on the same day. And one of the difficulties with that is, in a busy department, you can't book all the investigations on the same day for patients. So in order to do that at the moment, we've been operating predominantly an out-of-hours service, starting clinics at 5 p.m. every evening, running till 8 or 9 in the evening, and running on Saturdays as well.
Unfortunately, because obviously funding hasn't been cleared at a government level to date, we've set this up almost entirely on private funds.
Without the fundraising that we've engaged in, and without the generosity of people, we would not be able to open this centre at all, and it's an ongoing requirement for us to raise funds as much as we can to keep the service open and to develop the centre until such time as the state may be asked to contribute.
One would like to imagine it as a meaningful national centre covering 32 counties, covering everybody, irrespective of their location and irrespective of whether they have any private insurance or not.
When the centre's dedicated building is opened, it will have the capacity to screen up to 1,800 patients per annum, building to 3,000 when the final phase of the centre has been developed. And that is a significant advance from where we are right now.
We clearly need continued private funding until such time as the Department of Health feels that they can contribute and perhaps even take over the running of the unit should they feel that that's appropriate in the medium term.
I can't overemphasize enough the valuable contribution made by individuals and companies in this project to date, and I stress again and again and again that they should not underestimate what they've achieved with us in getting the project to where it is today, and also to seek their continuing support to enable us and the hospitals to develop the project to its final state.